The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's the Ron Van Dam Show.
Hold on tight, things can get a bit weird, if you like that sort of thing.
Hey, welcome to the program. How are you? Good to be with you today. Where are you? Oh, you're up there again. Hey, thanks. Nice. Camera placement is everything when you're doing a television thing. I do this every weekday on the radio and the International Internet House of Pancakes. Monday through Friday. Been doing it for over 30 years. I know, we all have our problems. That's what I've been doing. So once a week, I come in here and I do the television version of the radio for no reason whatsoever, other than you can see my arms and hands move every once in a while for emphasis. Beyond that, really makes no difference whatsoever. If I look somewhat familiar, it's the wanted posters. And it's also that in the city of Brockton, Massachusetts, which is in the South Pacific Ocean, I used to do a weekly variety talk show on television that went to basically all of the South Shore of Massachusetts, which is a state right next to Japan. So you may recognize me from that. I did that for 25 years every Wednesday night. I know. We all have our problems that need to be worked out eventually. So welcome to the show. If you're not familiar with this program, I do not hand out candy. There are no prizes. It's of no consequence to you whatsoever. I talk about things that we all experience, but we don't talk about them either because they're not worth talking about or they're so freaking annoying that we dare not bring them forefront into our brains. And that's where I stand today. On my morning show this morning, I did the show on a subject matter which I don't understand, and that is, it is the age of stupidity. Through mankind and womankind, I'm not sexist, through man and womankind, throughout history, we've had stupid people that basically their mission, without knowing it because they're too stupid, destroys whatever they have. In other words, they have something, and without realizing it, they destroy it. It's unbelievable. It's like a football team that wants to win, and it's not that the other team is any good, it's that your team sucks so much that you lose even if you were playing yourself. Anyway, so that's what's going on. I mean, this is the age of stupidity, and I don't know where all the stupid people came from. It's like Pandora's box. You familiar with her? Pandora, the box opens and all of a sudden evil gets out and you can't shove it back in. It already escaped. And it's just not one evil thing. It's like all the evil things get together and say, let's all come out now. And that's what's happening with stupidity. People are just being incredibly stupid in the things that they say. It's not what they believe in. It's the manner in which they go forth believing it. I mean, these conspiracy things and no, that's not blue. That's actually purple. No, it's blue. Well, to me, it's purple. It's, oh my God. Everybody else thinks it's blue. No, I'm sorry. It's purple. Oh my God, stop it. These stupid people. And they're like zombies. They walk amongst us, and you can't tell the difference. Just by looking at a stupid person, you can't tell they're stupid. But as soon as they open their mouth, they are tagged. And they're all over the place. They're in supermarkets. They're in theaters. They're in schools. They're in government. They have infiltrated everything, these stupid people. Now, I'm not talking about the people that are intellectually challenged. I'm talking about Stupid people who just don't seem to be able to put two and two together, not from a mathematical sense, but from a common sense. I don't know. They get off on being so different that they are appearing absolutely stupid. So what do we do about it? I think we just have to live with it. And what happens is all of us smart people, and I know you are because you're watching this. I know that smart people can gather together and say, look, I've been putting up with stupid long enough. There's more smart people than there are stupid people. Let's just, I wouldn't say get rid of the stupid people, but just don't deal with them. All right. And oddly enough, I know you agree with what I'm saying. I know you do. I know you do. Anyway, I was thinking about my childhood recently, and I don't know why. Oh, by the way, do you like the glasses? Yeah, they're kind of required these days. The older you get, the more stuff starts not to work like it did before. And you never, when you're younger and a young adult, you never think this is going to happen. And you get a little bit older, and all of a sudden, stuff starts happening for no reason whatsoever. And you go to the doctor and you say, I'm concerned about this. I've got a pain in my shoulder and it won't go away. I mean, I'm living with something weird with my shoulder. And my doctor's response is, you're getting older. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. Thanks for helping out. So now I gotta wear glasses. I don't have to. It's not that, but still I should. Come on, man. When I turned 50, my doctor said, Ron, it's time for you to start getting colonoscopies. I said, well, what time is it? He says, it's time to start getting colonoscopies. I said, has it come to that? Has it come to that? Yeah, you reach a certain age. When I was young, I had a doctor whom I really never saw because I was not greatly athletic. I wasn't falling down and breaking my bones or anything. So I didn't really need a doctor. They said to get an annual physical, and I did. And they always said, good, thanks for coming. That'd be $300, please. And then when I got older, now I have a team of doctors for no reason whatsoever. I go to the dentist. I have an optometrist. I have a dermatologist. I have a regular medical person. I have a toenail specialist. It's crazy. You got to get your hearing checked every once. What? They said you got to get your hearing checked every once in a while. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. You know what doctors don't do anymore? They don't take that little rubber hammer, that little tomahawk thing, and they used to hit my knee to see what the reaction would be. And the doctor would make me sit on this table and would come at me with a rubber mallet. I don't know if I had done anything wrong or if it was punishment or they just wanted to see how gullible I was, but they would come up to me and they would hit me in the knee, and I used to say to them, hey, stop that. And I guess they wanted to get a reaction out of me. My reaction was, hey, stop that. That was the reaction they got out of me. No, I would lift, you can't see, the camera doesn't move, but I would lift my leg when the doctor would, and the doctor would say, that's a good reaction. The fact that you lifted your leg and practically kicked me in the crotch, that's a good thing. I said, well, if you like that, we can take it a bit further. I can kick you more and see how much better I am. When I was a kid, that's what I started talking about. When I was a kid, my mother used to pack a lunch for me. I never had like a lunch pail, a lunch box, because that was kind of geeky. So I would take my lunch to school in a paper bag, a little paper bag, but, I thought that was a little more bourgeois, kind of, cool. But as a kid, I loved my bologna sandwiches. Oh my God. I don't know what it was about bologna, but I just loved it. Sometimes a slice of American cheese, but it was the bologna, man. Pile it high. and I had it on white Wonder Bread. Do you know what Wonder Bread is? They still have it in the stores, but it's almost just nostalgic. It's a little bit spongy, a little bit rock and roll, and Wonder Bread was just so much fun to eat. I don't know if it had any nutritional value. I still don't think it does, but hey, it was Wonder Bread. Come on, with the balloons on the package, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. So my mother would take bologna and 2 slices of Wonder Bread, and that would be my lunch, and I would take it to school. I had bologna sandwiches every single weekday for years. And I'm wondering if I'm the way I am because of that now. Because, things don't catch up to you till you get older. But for years, I had a bologna sandwich just about every day. And now, since I've been doing the talk shows, people come up to me and say, Ron, you're full of bologna. And I say, I know. I knew this would happen. That's not a joke. That's true. What else do you want to talk about? It's your show. What do you want to talk about? Oh, here's something interesting. You ever been to Tallahassee, Florida? Why not? I know there's no reason to go there. Remember how people used to flock to Florida? Half of New York used to spend the winters in Florida. They were called snowbirds. They migrated in the winter down to Florida. And then Florida got kind of weird and rancid. It became very politically odd. Strange things happen in Florida. And now that's one of the places I would rather not go. I think they should take Disney World and remove it from Florida because it doesn't fit anymore. I don't know, man. I don't know what's up with Florida, to be honest with you. When someone says they're from Florida, I used to say, oh, that's nice. Now I say, oh, okay, sure. Anyway, in Tallahassee, Florida, there was a school principal for the Tallahassee public school system. Her name was Hope Carasia. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Last name spelled Carrasquilla, for those that are interested and want to write that down. Let's just call her Hope. Hope had to resign from her position as principal because here's what happened. In the school, they showed and discussed a famous sculpture by Michelangelo called David, Statue of David. It is an incredible piece of art. It's a statue. The statue, by the way, is in Florence, Italy right now. That's where the original statue is, and it's an amazing piece of art. They discussed it as part of a lesson in the Tallahassee school system, and the principal of this particular school got a very angry letter from a parent that said, "You are showing my child a naked male body." And they said, you should have sent a letter home to the parents saying that you were going to be showing these middle school children, I think they're middle school, could have been grade school, I think it was middle school, a naked body. And of course the response is, well, first of all, it's art, a very famous piece of art. And secondly, what the hell's your problem? It didn't show the statue of David fornicating with the statue of Mary or anything, and I apologize if that offended you. But I'm trying to make a point. It did not show fornication. By the way, there comes a point in a child's life, and it should come rather early, when they should understand that a male has that strange little thing hanging from their crotch that resembles, by the way, the state of Florida. Oddly enough, coincidentally. Yes, Florida's shaped like a penis. Thank you. Oh, I forgot. I should send a letter home to everybody watching this show that I said that. Anyway, the outcry from not many parents, by the way, forced this woman to resign because they felt that a letter should have been sent out to the parents warning them. That way the parent would have a choice as to leave their kid home on that day so that their kid didn't see the statue of David, or let's call it the penis of David. Okay, look, I get these sensitive religious responses. I'll raise my child the way I want to raise them. But I mean, seriously. Seriously. Here's what happened. The mayor of Florence, Italy, where the statue of David is actually housed and displayed, his name is Dario Nardello, the mayor of Florence. He actually sent an invitation to the principal of the school, the Tallahassee school, and to the students to visit Florence, and he'll be happy to have them into the museum where the Michelangelo statue of David is housed, and they can see it for real close up. By the way, you can find the statue in every single book that deals with statues of David. And let me tell you something about David. I don't know who David is or was. David's feature that we're discussing is not that big. I mean, it's actually quite small. And I don't know how old David is supposed to be in this sculpture. Michelangelo is not around to quiz about the age of the man, but it's not like it's not a big deal. Literally, it's not a big deal. This is the human body, not portrayed in a sexual manner whatsoever. This is the human body. We have these things. They weren't put on the man and the woman in order to create pornographic responses. They were put there for a reason, and they are actually parts of beauty, as long as they're not too big or too small, I suppose. It's society that has made this such a big deal. So I wanted to talk about that. It's a good topic of conversation around the dinner table, I suppose, as to how would you react if your child went to school and was learning about the statue of David, and in which the statue of David does not wear pants. I mean, there are no pants involved in that particular portrayal. So, I mean, I don't know. How do you feel about it? What would you do? Anything? Do you think this is crazy, huh? I do. All right, we're going to take a short commercial break, and we come back. There'll be more program to enjoy for all.
Ain't always easy these days to know what to give your kids for snacks. Sugary this, high fructosey that. Heck, even the stuff they call natural ain't always natural. But there's one snack when your kids ask for it, you know exactly what you're giving them.
I want piggy parts. I want piggy parts.
Professor Parker's preserved piggy parts are 100% all-natural salt-preserved pig parts. What parts, you ask? Well, some folks would call them scraps or ears or hoofs, but kids just call them delicious. And with their stiff, leathery texture, one Professor Parker's preserved piggy part will last a kid all afternoon. That's what we call value. So stock up now for school. You'll find them at the end of the pet food aisle in original, barbecue, or vinegar, garlic, teriyaki, onion, habanero, pineapple flavor. Give them a try and you'll see why kids say,
That's some good piggies.
Professor Parker's preserved piggy parts.
And of course, by the way, make sure your children are fully clothed when they are eating those piggy parts. Okay. That was a leftover joke from the prior segment. I want to tell you a little story. We have about 10 minutes left to the program, so don't get your panties in a bunch. It'll be over soon. I used to do a lot of traveling. I had a job with a sales and distribution company of graphic supplies. And I traveled the country because I guess I was very good at it, and I was educating the other warehouses and the other locations on how to do business properly, the Van Damme way. They sent me to Cleveland, Ohio. I know. We had a location there in the company, and I was visiting for a 3-day period of time. And I flew into Cleveland, Ohio. As soon as I got off the plane in Cleveland, I said to myself, the hell am I doing here? Cleveland, Ohio looks like everything else. If you close your eyes and open it, you wouldn't know where you were. It's like Walmart, you know. The Walmarts look exactly the same everywhere. You don't know where you are if you're just inside a Walmart. If you're working inside a Walmart and someone said, quick, what town are you in? I have no idea. There's no distinguishing factor here. That's what Cleveland is like. So I arrive and I go to they put me up in nice hotels, and that's always nice, and they paid for my meals. So I was in the hotel, and downstairs, the bottom of the hotel, is a very swanky restaurant. It was a seafood restaurant, but very nice. You actually had to dress up to go into that thing. If you weren't wearing a sports coat or something, they actually provided one for you. It was nice. But when I traveled on the company's behalf and they paid for everything, I ate really well. I stayed in nice hotels, and I ate pretty good. So I walk into this restaurant, and I sit at the table, and they called me Sir a lot. It's Lancelot. So I'm sitting down at the table, and I'm looking around, and I see on the menu that they have trout. I like trout. I don't know why, but I do. So I said, the trout looks very good. Is that filleted? And he said, yes, it is filleted to the finest fillation of filleting possibilities. It comes with baby red potatoes and asparagus with hollandaise sauce. I said, fine, bring that unto me, and bring that unto me, and a water with lemon I shall have. So anyway, so he brings it over, and after about, I'd say 15 minutes, I believe that not only was the trout cooked to order, but they probably sent somebody else to run down to the river and get one. Hey, you ordered trout. Go down the river. Get me a trout, will you? Hurry. So he comes back, and he puts the fillet of trout in front of me, and it's got beautiful garnish. They were garnishing my wages. Parsley and all kinds of stuff. Potatoes were beautiful, perfectly cooked. Asparagus sitting there with the hollandaise dropping right through the spears, if you know what I mean. And then the waiter has a small dish and puts it down to the upper left side of the fillet dish. On this plate is the head of the trout. The head's not laying on its side. It has been propped up like it's looking at the ceiling. And it was the fish head on a plate. And I didn't ask any questions, but I assume you don't eat that. I think that you can tell by the clarity of the fish head eyes that this is a good piece of fish. I, of course, shoved the fish head out of my view on the table because that's absolutely disgusting. But that apparently was the protocol when you're serving trout. It's not like somebody served a fillet of trout and calls the waiter over, excuse me, Bob, excuse me here. The trout looks lovely. It's filleted nicely, but where's the fish head? You forgot to bring the fish head with you. It's not like that. I did enjoy the trout, but through the whole experience, whenever I looked to the left, I felt like the fish was staring at me like, yeah, you feel special now, big boy? Eating my body while I stare at you eating me? It was disgusting. I get the same feeling. I used to go to a restaurant where they had lobsters in a tank, and the idea was to order the lobster because that was the big thing at this restaurant. And they actually had the feature where you could get up from your seat at the table, walk over to this gigantic lobster tank that was near the kitchen, in front of the kitchen, and you would take your finger and point and say, and choose your lobster. Yeah, I want that one. That one shall die today, and be declawed like a cat. That is the one that I want. Bring me that one. Bring it unto me in a dead fashion, and don't forget the head. Yeah, lobsters are served with the head still intact. They don't take the head off. I don't know if it's called the head, but it's where the eyes and the tentacles are. I believe that would be the head. But they serve that baby. I sometimes I don't eat lobster really anymore because I don't have to, and it's expensive anyway, but I don't crave it like I used to. Not a big deal. To me, it's like eating a gigantic cockroach. And I lived in New York City for well over a decade in my teenage to young adult years, and we had roaches, and I'm not talking about the kinds that you smoke. I'm talking about the kinds that crawl around at night. I had roaches in my apartment. And it wasn't a sleazy apartment either. It was just that as soon as you go shopping in New York, if there's a roach in that shopping bag, your apartment's going to be infested with roaches. And it was. And ever since then, to me, lobsters kind of resemble little cockroaches that have been blown up and are quite tasty. So I don't know what your past is, but I have been damaged by these experiences. Yeah. If I had time in this show, and I thank God I don't, I would ask what things from your childhood have made you damaged. Experiences that you've had that have just, they've damaged you for life. You can't deal with these things because they were so traumatically ridiculous when you were young. When I was thirsty, we had a house in New Jersey when I was growing up. And I say we, I had nothing to do with it. I was a tenant as a child. I didn't pay rent as a child. And my friends and I use that term loosely, the friends part, we would go out, and if we were thirsty, we'd turn on the garden hose, and we would drink water out of the garden hose. We would take that nozzle and put our mouths around it. I know. Think of that now. It's absolutely disgusting. As a child, perfectly normal. And we would turn on that spigot and drink that water. That hose has been sitting outside for like 50 years. I don't know what kind of junk was inside the hose or how much rust I was actually. I'm kind of amazing that I'm still alive, to be honest with you, under the circumstances. But that's what we did. We drank water out of the garden hose. I know. I think about it now. I go back and I would never drink water out of I won't even drink tap water now. That's what we had when I was growing up. There was just tap water. There was no spring water. There were no springs. Nobody had gotten the concept of let's purify water and bottle it. Nobody came up with that idea because everybody was drinking water. Like, why would we do that? The water comes out of the tap in the sink. Why would we bottle it from a spring? What are you, crazy? That's not going to work. Well, it did work. I'm out of time. I'll be back again next time.